Hey, it's Maryanne. It's another edition of the Influential Nonprofit. I am thrilled to be with you today. I got a big, cool, crazy topic that I'm going to go in with you today. I kind of love doing these ones where I just talk to you and kind of break it down. Um, and this is a big one, okay? Um, Let me start by sharing a story. My colleague and friend, her name is Rachel D'Souza. She runs a business here in St. Louis called Gladiator Consulting, and she has been working with our local community, not public radio station. They're making some big strategic changes, which has not been well received by the community. I think that's a fair statement. And this has caused some frustration, especially because a lot of people have been telling her they support her, but they're doing it through DMs and texts, not doing it publicly because they don't want to be ostracized or canceled or get backlash. And this brought up some questions for her. And I think these questions are super important to ask. And I want to ask the questions and then sort of give my response and my perspective and what I see and how I think that we can really create systemic change and what that looks like from my thought leadership perspective. All right. So let's hear what she has to say. Question 1. Why don't we have more grace for each other in social movements? Question 2. Why is it hard to believe that people are capable of real and meaningful change? Question 3, especially in the nonprofit sector, why are we so unwilling to learn from failure and letting others learn too? Are we really willing to settle for perpetual harm reduction because systems change is so uncomfortable? Now, here's my response. I'm going to give you the response and then I'm going to talk a little bit about it. And then I'm going to share a model with you that I have used and that I use every day to help people understand what the process of change really looks like. So here we go. All right. Number 1, we don't value struggle. We don't value difficulty as a part of the process. We want change, but not feel uncomfortable. Okay. We want change, but no, that's scary. I don't want to feel scared, but change can feel scary, right? 2, people overall fear being ostracized, and that is a powerful societal force that makes systems change so uncomfortable. Why do we fear ostracization? We fear it because we are tribal people at our heart. We are community people. And many thousands of years ago, being in community meant our survival. So we did what we had to do to move along with the crowd, because getting thrown out would often mean harm or death. So we fear ostracization. It's not that my kid came out trans. It's like, what will my friends think or my family think, which they were super supportive because my oldest is trans, but that, it's not the situation. So what will people think? That's where the real source of pain is. I don't want to get kicked out. I don't want to get ostracized. And this is hard baked into our being. Okay. This is hardwired. All right. I'm going to keep going. We see number 3, we see anger as an obstacle when it isn't the energy of change. When people get angry, it means they care. Nothing has changed without anger. So we want to avoid anger. We want to avoid but enough of this. We can do better, right? Let's get angry. Anger is a revolution. Anger is what people like that. That's what raises our standards. Enough of this. Enough of this. We can do better. That's the anger. And so and sometimes we resent anger. When we make a change and people come at us with anger, we're like, whoa, but that means they care. When an institution makes a name change or, a mission change and people are angry, like one organization, this was many years ago, they closed a resale shop. It was a very popular resale shop, but they're like, this isn't really aligned with our mission anymore. People are mad. Okay. But that anger means they care. So resenting anger because you want people to go along, you're understanding that anger is the energy of change, and it means that people have an emotional investment, which is exactly what we want. All right. Number 4, praise and criticism are the price of doing business. Wrote a whole book about this. All right. My book, Courageous Communication. Praise and criticism are the price of doing business. And especially in the nonprofit spaces, we live in fear of criticism because we fear losing donors, which again makes system change uncomfortable. So we fear ostracization from our donors or our community because of something that we believe. So we stay quiet. Here's the bottom line here, and where the rest of this podcast is going to go. Individuals make up communities, and communities create systems, right? And create systems change. Until we as individuals understand how our thoughts and feelings contribute to our day-to-day, everyday decision making, and how to step into a new way of thinking that values discomfort, that values struggle, right? That values anger, we will in fact stay safe. And so it is frustrating because change is hard and change makes people mad, but also this is biology. We can't fight the body. In the battle of the brain and the body will win every time, but we can't reprogram and shift the body with knowledge and practice. And so what I want to share with you is like kind of how to do this and what this really looks like. I believe that individuals create communities, and for a community to shift, right, we need to we can help people. I don't know, we can choose to help people understand what change feels like and be more comfortable with the process so they can tolerate a higher level of discomfort and uncertainty. In our world, for some reason, we were taught to desire the two things we will never have: certainty and control. Right? And we learned this in COVID. That was that maybe it was the biggest lesson. We want certainty and control. None of those are really accessible to us, but it's something that we desire. We want to take a risk, but we don't want to keep control, and we want to keep certainty. That's not the game. That's not how it's played. And that's why we tend to, and this is just my experience, make small changes, right? Harm reduction instead of systems change. So the small changes, let's increase the number of foster parents we have, which is important. And what we don't want to look at the larger system that is causing kids to go into foster care. Yes, I want to house someone. That is a wonderful thing. And also I want to look at what is the systems that brought that person to be unhoused in the first place. Y'all know I do animal rescue. I foster dogs. I can foster a dog, and that is wonderful. And also we have to look at the systems and structures that contribute to pet overpopulation. Both are valid. Okay. And so when we tend to then step into the harm reduction space, because everything else seems too big and scary. So let's break it down. How can we make change less scary? Here we go. For the last 5 years, I have been a big student of change and how people create change, because that is truly what we're all here to do, right? Create change. You wouldn't be listening to this. There wasn't something in your life, in your work, that you didn't want to make better. 100%. I looked at all these different models. One model is called leverage leadership. The other model is called David Brooks. He wrote a book called Power versus Force. And another one called Letting Go. Letting Go is a really good book. I mean, it's a big read, but it's good. And then last is Dr. Donald Epstein, who wrote the 12 Stages of Healing. And I looked at all of these models, and then even some other things like chakras and all this stuff. I'm like, wow, there's some universal truths that are coming through for me here. And I'm breaking them down and kind of condensing them into what I'm going to share with you. And there's 6 steps. So get ready for 6 steps. So if you want to take notes, this may be a good time. And I want to reframe struggle and anger and all the messy stuff, because it's part of the process. So first of all, the step 1 is struggle. And I said, people don't value struggle and why I've learned to value struggle is because I know it's the first step to creating change. That's it. Struggle means something's wrong. Struggle means I'm out of alignment with my world and my values. Struggle is if I broke my leg and I didn't feel any pain, I would just run on my leg. What was that show, like Heroes, when she didn't feel the pain? So the struggle is like, oh, there's something wrong. And I know that the struggle, even though it's super, super painful, because let me tell you, I have been through them in the last couple of years, that we think this is wrong. Our society has taught us that struggle is bad, struggle is wrong, and we shouldn't be struggling. And if you are, you have to get out of it, instead of understanding that the struggle is a first step to the process. The reason why struggle is so hard is because it triggers feelings of guilt and shame. Guilt and shame are the lowest vibration, the lowest level of feeling that we have. Guilt means like over something we did, shame over something we think we are, and that those are bad or wrong. And a lot of times that struggle puts us in that place of separateness. Nobody understands me. I'm so alone. And this is a place we don't want to go. That's why we don't speak up. That's why, we stay quiet about some things, because, oh my God, I don't want to have to go into struggle. That feels so scary. Let me just stay here where it's safe. So if we can embrace the struggle as just the first step to a process, and that, when we value struggle as part of the process, then we can sit in it, even though it's hard. And it is hard. I get that. We know that it's taking us somewhere. But then step two is really looking for what I call the external solution, which is the magic wand phase. Okay, I'm struggling. I don't like myself. I don't like where I live. I don't like how I look. I don't like my job, or I don't like how my board treats me, whatever it is. If only, this is step two, is like if only I could look like this, I could have this kind of partner, I could have this kind of board, then I would feel better. So if anything outside of me is the magic wand that's going to come fix it. Our board doesn't trust each other. We need a plan. That's the magic wand. So that magic wand thinking, and that's kind of part of the process. And it's not me, it's you, right? It's that person. They did it. They're the problem. And so, yes, we go through the blame game. That's fine. We want the magic wand to save us. That's part of it. That's step two, the magic wand. Step three is, wait, hold on. Maybe I got that magic wand and it's still struggle. It's still hard. Wait, I don't feel any better. Or maybe I did for a little bit, but I don't anymore. Or I never got the magic wand. Wait, hold on. Maybe this is more about me than I think. And I come into a consciousness that maybe my outcomes, maybe I'm the one that's responsible for my outcomes. And maybe this is more about me than I thought. So now I can turn the lens on myself and say, isn't that interesting? All right. Maybe this is more about me. And then from that place, I say step 4, which is the anger, the revolution, the shift, right? Wait, enough of this. I deserve better. I take my power back. That's a line from the 12 stages of healing. I use it all the time. Enough of this. I deserve better. I take my power back. I have realized that in that step 1, step 2, step 3, somewhere along, I gave my power away. I gave my power away to the new car I wanted, or to the new partner I wanted, or, and then in that step 3, the reclamation of the power, like, wait, I am the creator state. And then that leads me to step 4, anger. Nothing happens without anger. Our country was founded on anger. The civil rights movement was founded on anger. Enough of this. We take our power back. We deserve better. Movements are shaped from anger. I say this all the time. Every nonprofit was founded by somebody sitting at a kitchen table so mad about what happened to them that they didn't want it to happen to anybody else. I think most nonprofits were formed that way. They're formed out of anger. So anger is a creative energy. Anger is the fuel. It's like a rocket fuel. And listen, I've come a long way in my relationship with anger over the last, few years. And I'm not going to go too deep into that. But, as a woman, I was like, oh, anger is bad. Anger is an energy. And when people are angry at your organization, it's because they care. Right? It's because they care. When you see institutions going through changes and people get angry, like I said, it's because they care. So embracing anger as part of the process and part of the fuel that's going to get you to step 5, which is the place of step 5 is possibility. Possibility. Now, new ideas, new systems, new energy, new stories emerge from the anger. The new step 5, the new stories emerge. Right? Step 5 is possibility. Wow, now we're creating from this place of excitement and possibility instead of like fear of openness and possibility. And then step 6 is neutrality, which means I understand the role that suffering and blame and anger plays in this. And I get it. That's part of the process. And I no longer have to judge me or anyone else. It's not good or bad. It just is. Everything is information. And so we tend to judge some experiences. Oh, that's good or that's bad. Like conflict, bad, peace, good. It's information, right? It's all part of the process. So when you go through these stages, step 1, separate, right? Step 2, magic wand. Step 3, whoa, bringing it back home to myself. Step 4, anger. Step 5, possibility. Step 6, neutrality. Now, and I talk about neutrality, releasing the outcome, staying sovereign, no matter the circumstance, right? Staying sovereign. I decide, I create, I set the pattern. Like that sovereignty, right? When we embody that sovereignty, now change. Yeah, it can be painful, but I know why, and I know how to process it. Because I can stay sovereign. So helping people come to that place of neutrality then allows for change to happen. And knowing that we're just escorting people on a journey. Because remember, individuals make up communities and communities create systems. And so the communities are the ones that can change the system when we're open to helping people understand how the process happens. And we can actually collectively lead people through these steps. But if we think we're going to create change and nobody's going to get mad, that's not possible. And also understanding and being empathetic to a lot of the ways that people are reacting is because these are hardwired and they don't have the awareness yet to understand what's going on. And we will continue to repeat the cycle unless we understand, again, how our thoughts and feelings contribute to our everyday decision making and becoming more conscious about who we are and what we do and what we put out in the world. Because that's what I work with people on, conscious leadership, exactly this, because I'm out to revolutionize an industry. I can't do that by myself, by the way. So you can all come and join my program and I'll teach you exactly how to do this. So you can stay sovereign, stay in that place of neutrality. And once you're in that, now you can help other people come through. And listen, here's the thing. Would I love to live, in possibility and in step 5, possibility, and step 6, neutrality, 100%. And yet I know, you know what? I'm suffering. This is hard. And also there's a part of me that knows it's part of that's the first step to the change and healing process. So now I can look at it with neutrality, even though it hurts. I'm not denying that, but I also understand that it's part of the process. A lot of times, especially at work, we don't want to deal with the feelings. Eek, icky, ooh. And feelings are a part of it. Well, I had a client tell me once, like, Maryanne, I was hoping to avoid the drama. I'm like, oh, if only. But it's not drama. It's a part of the process. And when people get angry and they're allowed to express their anger, that releases the anger and that allows them to come to that place, step 5, possibility. But if we're not willing to receive the anger, we're not going to be able to get them to that step 5 of possibility. And then step 6 of neutrality. I want to say one thing about neutrality is it's really rooted in deep trust, right? This whole process is creating deep trust in what we want, and deep trust in that we can navigate whatever comes our way. We were taught, and I don't know why, but we were taught to desire the two things we could never have, which is certainty and control. And when we make decisions or make change, but we want to also maintain certainty and control, it really doesn't go well, does it? When, risk averse organizations, and they want to make change, and they tend to then make small, very harm reductive changes instead of really stepping into a bold vision. And then why is that? Why can't they do that? It's because they don't understand what it truly takes to make change. And that is working through those stages and working through that process to come to that place of neutrality. You didn't know, like, you all know, okay, maybe you did. You didn't know this is group therapy, but I'm like, heck yeah, you did. Because this is how I roll. But I'm going to tell you the honest truth is why I do this and why I do this programming. Because this is where I see the issues in our community. This is where I see the gaps in our knowledge, is that we want to create change, but we don't really understand the mindset and the psychology and the steps and of creating change. And that's why I do this work. That's why I do what I do 100%, because I truly believe that the more people I can bring into conscious leadership in this field, the more courage they will have and the more change we're going to make overall. And that is why we're here. Every single one of us is here because we want to make something better. We want to make someone better, and sometimes that takes stepping into some icky spaces and holding on to your sovereignty while you do that and helping other people do the same. And so if this is exciting and interesting to you, I hope, and if you want to connect with me, you can go to courageouscommunication.com/connect. And there's a little form you can fill out, and you can book a quickie intro call with me. And we can talk about if you're interested in learning how to, step into greater leadership, usher people through change, be able to communicate what you want more effectively. That's what I help people do. And I'm happy to connect with you and to see if what I do will work for you. And, and we'll see where it goes. And that is it for me in this episode of the Influential Nonprofit. I love having you here. I want to say every day you get up and you do the work, and you make the change, and you work to make our world a better place. And I want to say thank you for doing that. And it's my privilege and honor to help you do that more effectively. And I'll see you next time on the Influential Nonprofit.